Hey Tekken players, hope you're all doing well. So this is episode 2 of this mini-series where in effect what we're doing is we're going through my viewers' replays via submission and we're looking at how to improve their basic king gameplay. Now we started, the first one was with some red rank gameplay, so kind of relatively speaking kind of lower ranks. Now today's submissions come from Grandma Hands and he is currently bumping in between Fujin and Ruler, so kind of on the cusp of purple and very, very lower blue. So that's the series we're going to look at today. Now, I'll leave a link in the description if you missed the first episode, but very, very quickly, I'll just reiterate some kind of key caveats that I need to go over, which is, first and foremost, this is armchair coaching. There's lots of stuff which I'm guilty of. I'm just reviewing this and being objective, saying this is bad, this is good. I'm fully aware that I could be just as bad as guilty as any of these, so don't at me. I already know. Okay, so that's number one. Secondly, I'm going to try and keep it as general as possible, just to kind of like, you know, I don't want to get into the real nitty gritty specifics of every single move and every single property, because it just gets sort of, it'll just get lost and you'll forget half of it. So we're keeping this to general hints and tips basically. And finally, I'm not telling you how to play King. King is very, very has a lot of character expression. Lots of kings play differently, so I'm just giving you the sort of the tools and, you know, the ammunition you need to take your king to the next level, but I'm not telling you how to play. You play however you want to. Okay, so with that all out of the way, let's dive into the replays. Okay, so the first match we're going to watch is against this Kazuya. Now, I've chosen the Kazuya one because at this stage, this is a promo opportunity for our man Grandma Hands, or woman, as it may be. And so basically, and it's right on the cusp, as I say, of Ruler and Fujin. The other reason is because Kazuya is one of the most popular characters in the game, so you're going to see a lot of them. And the matchup is pretty basic because he doesn't have that much, to be honest. So we're going to do that one. I'm going to look at one of these pool matches because I noticed that, spoiler alert, but you get fairly bodied. And again, Paul historically used to be very, very popular. He's maybe not so much now. And then if we've got time, we'll look at possibly a Hwoarang match and possibly a King Mirror, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so let's crack on with the first replay. Now, while we're waiting for this to load, just to reiterate, and I will just pause it to get this point out, because it's something you've always got to bear in mind when you're on the loading screen. Is you need to think to yourself, what are the put it this way, a lot of players in these ranks, they don't necessarily like to block when the round starts. Okay, they love to get in there first, and a lot of them have a very, very similar, you know, move. Now the two most popular ones from Kazuya that I see at least is they will try to go for down forward 2 because it's a big meaty counter hit launcher. Or they will go with down 1 plus 2 because that's a bit like Jin's Scourge. It's a high crushing, low counter hit launcher. So those are the two things that I would always be looking out for in the Kazuya matchup. Now the good thing is both of them have they're basically both punishable if you make the read. Always punish Kazuya's down forward 2 with back 1-2 because that's your maximum punish for it. Never let them get away with it. If they know they can get away with it, they will spam that move beyond oblivion. And yeah, and if you think they're going to go for the low and you've got a hard read, then that's minus 14. But I wouldn't necessarily duck, like, unless I was absolutely certain they're going to go for it. Anyways, just to point it out, and I'll mention others as we go along, but just tip number 1 is always think to yourself, okay, this character, what common move is, you know, does the person like to do for an opener? Okay, so let's crack on. Okay, so straight off the bat, actually the Kazuya pretty ballsy, to my surprise, hard ducked you there, which meant your hop kick landed. Now, I have seen this replay before, so I know what I'm going to say, but just to get this out there, there's a kind of a meme going around where the meme is that sort of like your beginner players can do like maximum damage combos, but like they can't do anything else. And there is a certain sort of element to that, in that you should learn your fundamental Tekken skills before you go into practice mode and nail every combo. However, really, really important to stress here. Combos is not just about flashy and damage, right? They can literally dictate the match, because when you score a launcher, you're trying to do two things. Number one, you're trying to maximize the damage, that's obvious. But the second thing you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to the wall. Why is this? It's not just because you might score some more damage, especially if you're king, because his wall damage is not very good. You're trying to get into the wall because then you have the advantage. They can't backdash, okay? So you've always got to be thinking to yourself, right, what stage is this? If I happen to score a launcher when the stage, you know, on the first match, you know, on the opening, how can I get my opponent to the wall? And unfortunately, this combo is not it. 4-2-1, as I said in the other video, is unfortunately now possibly King's worst combo ender, because it pushes them away, it doesn't wall splat, and it's not that good at damage. So let me show you an alternative, or a couple of alternatives, what we could have done here. So let's go back to the start. I've got to be quick here. There we go. I think I can just about get away with this. Oops. Hang on. Okay, now you see straight away that's 60 damage. That's pretty good. I haven't even done a wall combo yet, but you see the point. We've now got them at the wall, so we have the advantage. Even if we ended a combo there, which we wouldn't do, we'd do a wall ender finish. But you see, by doing that, we've completely sort of dictated the first game. We've got our opponent right by the wall. They can no longer backdash. They're gonna have to make some hard reads, okay? And that's so important. So I get it. There is this meme about sort of people prioritizing combos rather than learning the game, but there are instances like this where combos are everything, okay? Because you will dictate, you know, the rest of this match. So just to kind of give you one other example, this, you know, because we can do some setups from here potentially. Okay, so let's try again. Oops. The problem is that there's a weird delay. Okay, so yeah, the CPU's mashing, but you see what I mean. We can do some kind of cool sort of setups there. If it stayed grounded, that's a really nice little setup. Or we could just go for sort of the maximum damage on the wall. If we just go back. Something like that, you see, and so we scored 76 damage again in Tekken like language, well, Tekken 8 language. That's not that high. That's one of King's weaknesses. But the point is, we now have the dominant position. So it's just to kind of make that point. By all means, don't go nuts trying to sort of learn the most optimal combos if you haven't sort of learnt the basics. But at this level, we've got to be thinking. I've got to know what's my best chance of getting my opponent to the wall. Okay, and 4-2-1 is just not the way to go. So I hope I've made that point fairly clear. So let's just go back to the replay. Ali kicks again. I said this lots in the red rank video. I was hoping I'd be an end of it now. Ali kick strings, stop it. It's not real. It's not a real mix-up. Trust me. As soon as you get into anyone who's had any kind of like half decent experience with King, they will destroy you. Ali kick is the only time when it's acceptable to go for a single Ali kick is if you know it will kill. And even then, just go for the one. Don't do multiple. As soon as you do multiple, you're putting yourself at risk and you will get punished for it. Now, FYI, when I get up to the sort of like the higher blue ranks for the next video, if I'm still seeing Ali kicks at that point, I'm going to lose it. Okay, let's carry on. Nice. Could have got the follow up there. Okay, this is a just something to watch out for. This is a flow chart that Kazuyas like to do. They like to do 1 2 4 3, which is the string. It's high low mid. Lots of people eat it, including myself. And it's fairly safe on block, so they use it for a setup because they think you're going to sort of try and punish him afterwards. So in that case, he went for down 4-2, scored the counter hit. Some of them, they like to go for the backswing blow. So I'm just making this point because it's a really, really common flow chart. So my advice is if you see that string, 1 2 4 3, and you forget to punish it properly, just hold back, wait to see what they do. And I'll just as this for an example, if we just go back. Okay. Can't get him to do it now. It's because I've taken over the 1 point. But anyway, the point is, if he'd done that flowchart, then he would have gone for 1, 2, 4, 3 into down 4, 2. You could have punished him hard for it. So anyway, let's carry on. Okay, nice combo here from the Kazuya. Good patience. Okay, Ali Kick, you stole your turn there. Okay, I don't know what you're doing there, and this is an ongoing theme, and I mentioned it on the Red Frames player. Let me give you this very, very, very basic rule of frame data. It's not frame data, it's just frames in general. Now, don't glaze over. This is the most fundamental thing that you have to learn as a new player. If you get hit by something, don't press buttons, because if you've been hit by something, the chances are you are seriously minus, and if you try to press buttons, you're going to get counter hit. And let me show you the example here. You get hit by that spring kick, so now Kazuya's +2. Okay, what do? You try to press a button, and he managed to score his move. If you've been hit, block. Simple. Simple, simple, simple. Nice. Good, good, good. That's really good. That's guaranteed, I think, after that throw. So, nice one. Nice one taken around there. Okay, patience. I like it. Okay. Okay, so that's a nice move by the Kazuya. Trying to frame trap you there because that's pretty plus. Just remember that down forward 2 is, you know, you cannot let Kazuyas get away with it. It's too... Let me just go here. Punish. See? Do not let them get away with that. If you want to do the maximum sort of damage approach, do that. If you want to get some frames, do this. Into a guaranteed throw mix up. That's, you know, they can't really do much there apart from duck or break. So that's just an example. But yeah, you cannot let Kazuya spam down 4-2 unpunished, because if they know they can do that, it's a broken move. Nice poking. And he kicks. I hate to see it. Nice. Now, that was smart. That was technically a punish. You could, because you're in heat, you could have technically launched there, but it is. I did play with it in the when I was reviewing this before. It is a bit awkward because of the sidewall. So I respect it. Just take the guaranteed damage. Okay, no break from the Kazuya player. Nice. I like that. You had it, you know, I'd go for the power crush. You had the life lead. You've got nothing to lose, really. Okay. Nice step. So that's a shame because you stepped that move, but you just punished with alley kicks, which is kind of mad. But yeah, that was really smart. You sidestepped left, which is the correct way to step Kazuya. But yeah, you could have just got a bit more of a better punish, you know. Even if, to be completely honest, this is what I would do. Even if you just do this. Oops. If I can actually control you. Okay, I see the problem is because I can't take control of the pad in time. But anyway, you get the point. Just do a simple, even if it is just a simple 10 frame, you know. That's better than nothing. Stop with these alley kicks, please. Okay, nice combo here by the Kez. Oh, he did drop it. There's the flowchart. There you go. You see? There it is. You've got to be on the watch out for that. They love it. They absolutely love that. 1, 2, 4, 3 into something random. Nice. Now, what's interesting is the Kazuya was mashing them because that was a counter hit. So, I believe I don't know what the move's called, but Kazuya's 4-4-2 we did there. It's like -9 on block. So why here is mashing, I don't know. But I've got some bad news for you. So you see here. Watch. Let me just go back and actually let me show you what you do. Okay. Now let me show you what you should have done. I don't even have to change that much for this. This was correct. Okay, watch this. And he's dead. I would go for almost every time, especially in these ranks, people, they're scared to get up straight away. They will try to either do a get up kick or try to roll away. And forward 4 after the Shining Wizard basically beats almost every option. The only option it loses against is if they stay still, in effect, or quick stand. So, and quick standing is pretty scary against King. So yeah, you could have basically, that would have been, you could have had the set there with that one change. So just to reiterate, you know, just to make the point, just boom. Oh, okay, that was too slow. Boom, dead. See, it now forward 4 hits so low to the ground, it will catch so much stuff. So, you know, it's sad to see, but yeah, you could have had that there, but never mind. That's why we're here to learn. So yeah, you could have basically, that would have been your promo right there. And unfortunately, because of that one change, there we go. We are now unfortunately dead, and the Kazuya is still in the run. Nice, that caught your side step. Couldn't do much about that. 50-50. Nice combo here. Okay. Okay, so that was unlucky. However, I'm going to show you something just very, very important to sort of, again, this goes back to my point I was saying about don't press buttons when you've been hit. So watch this. So basically what happens, and we'll get to it in a second, is you've got like a sliver of health left. The Kazuya does a down back 4, which is a low. And it's really chunky on hit. It's something like +7, or I can't remember exactly. It's a good amount of frames. And it's a classic Kazuya frame trap. And unfortunately what you do is you mash buttons. And unfortunately you then lose. However, let me just show you just the difference of holding back. Okay, so that's the move there. Okay, so you're at -4. And basically, yeah, one more touch, you're dead. So you try to mash it out. However, watch this. Hold back. Back. That's a punish. Into whatever. So, yeah. Trying to get a max damage punish. But you see what I mean? So this is, that's not technically a punish because it wasn't a, there we go. Into this. So if you just held back, that was basically a free, 50 plus damage. Because interestingly, the Kazuya player, he went for, he went down back 4 and then he went into an unsafe power crush, So I'm just making the point. It's not so much about the optimum punish, although to be honest, that is an optimum punish for that move. It's just to make the point, if you've been hit, don't mash, okay? Stop mashing. If you've been hit by something, that's your time to block because you do not have the frames in your favour. So I'm not saying that you could have necessarily made a comeback, but you see just from that one move, he's on half life. You've still got heat available. You've still got rage available. This is Tekken 8. It's all about the comeback, right? So you could have maybe have scored that, but you just got to be patient. Just hold back. Okay. So let's go back to the replay. Just to go back what actually happens. Yeah, you try to mash something and you die.
Final round. Fight.
And he kicks again. Okay, he mashed. Nice. Oh, not quite. Okay, Alan, this is bad for you, unfortunately. Okay, mix-up time. Not much you could do there. Yeah, although... So not much you could have done there because, again, he had the wall pressure. And he has the mix-up of doing that charge-up string. So Not too much I can say about that round. That was basically just you got snowballed, nothing you could do. The important thing is it all goes back to that final last encounter a couple of rounds before where you could have won the set by just going for forward 4 rather than people's elbow. So that's just a, you know, it's just a very, very King specific thing, but honestly, go for that. Okay, so that's the Kazuya done. Let's move on to the Paul one. Okay, so we're going for the Paul one because, to be honest, I know the Paul matchup fairly well, and he's a pretty legacy player. And there's also King has some unique stuff that only King can do in this matchup, so it's worth learning. Okay, so straight away we've seen what he likes to do with his opener. He likes the power crush. So again, we should always be thinking to ourselves, okay, if he does that again, what am I going to do to counter it? But more on this later. Okay, caught you ducking or mashing there. Terrible combo, but this is scary. Nice little dick jab, get out of it. But that, when Paul's got you by the wall, that's a terrifying situation. Okay, so do you remember what I said about King having very, very specific advantages in this matchup? So this move here, this is forward 2-2. It's a mid low, and the low launches you, and it's pretty slow, as you can see, and there's a huge amount of pushback. So most characters, you have to low parry the second hit, and that's the only way you can get any kind of punishment. However, if we go back, okay, watch this. Okay, I dropped the combo, but you get the point. Full launch. There we go. Max damage. 77. 77 plus the Oki. So look how much we've just taken off because he did a stupid thing. Okay. So you got, that's a very, very Paul specific strat, but low rank Pauls will spam that all day long because they see it as basically a safe launching low. So yeah, if you don't play King, you've got a low parry at second hit. King, because his arm is so long, he's got so much reach on that full crouch down for 2, he can full punish that. So never ever ever let Paul players get away with it. Okay, so we'll go back, but that's a very, very specific Paul thing. Okay, you've scored a counter hit there. I still don't like it. I don't know if you're mashing. Okay, that's when he's not charged up. This is launch punishable string. However, there is some pushback. So what I would probably do in this situation is 4-2-1. But just so you're aware, nice hop kick. Interesting combo route, but it worked, so we'll take it.
Round 2. Fight.
Okay, so what did we see there? Second time now he's gone for that same move. Now that move is a high and it's a power crush. So we've got to be thinking to ourselves, what could we do to get around that? But anyway, we'll come back to this later. Okay, this was a bit interesting. Okay, so you got hit by Paul's Snake Edge. Now, Snake Edges are devious. All the best of us get hit by them sometimes. Paul is one you've got to learn to deal with because it's so slow. And again, King, interestingly, has a unique punisher to this because normally this is only minus 13. I think it's not even minus 13, it's minus 12. So you don't get much of a punish, right? However, King has some options. Okay, watch this. Punish. You see that symbol? Punish. That's a full punish. And now we have heat engaged. Just so I've kind of mentioned it, the other things you can do. Similar thing. Oops. Oh. Hang on, what just happened? Let's go back. Go on, Paul. There we go. This is also a punish. There's pretty good Oki off this. Or we could do this. So yeah, so King has his unique ability to really punish hard certain lows that end in crouch. And some of them are very hard. You've got to make a hard read, right? Like Dragon off down 2, Jin down 2. Those are fast. This pull one, however, is so slow. You got all day to confirm that. So yeah, don't let them get away with it. I say King has a really, really unique, cool punishment to stupid, snake edges like that. And it's also the same for King's version. So just something to bear in mind. Right, let's go back to the replay. Because unfortunately you do eat this. Luckily for you, he doesn't do the optimum combo off it. Okay, so he's looking for a key charge setup, I think. Into the dive. We're looking for the dive. Oh, he doesn't do the dive. Don't quite know what he's doing. Nice low parry. No, there's no combo there. Okay, so I'm just going to point this out because, again, this is a unique King thing. Death Fist normally has so much pushback that even though it's very, very minus on block, most characters can't punish it. However, hang on. See, that's a punish. And again, we've got heat engaged. Boom, boom. So you've got to be, again, in the pool matchup, you've got to be ready for that because, as I said, that's a very, very unique King privilege to be able to punish Death Fist. Not many characters can because of the pushback. So just bear that in mind. Okay, let's return to the replay. Nice. Nice. Ah, you could have had it. And Paul could have launched you for that. And there's that low again. So that could have been anyone's game there for so many of those interactions. But first of all, just to say, congrats on blocking it. Don't get me wrong. That's the first point. You have to be able to block that low, right? The forward 2-2. But still, if you've blocked it, you've done the hard work. Launch punish him for it. You've got to, so he will never do it again. You've got to condition your player with this sort of stuff. Okay, interesting. He didn't do the. See, he blocked it. He blocked your snake edge. Nice. Okay, that's unfortunate. I think you were trying to just go for the running. Okay, caught you whiffing. Okay, could have got him there. Okay, so this is a unique tackle that Paul has. It's called the Ultimate Punishment. All you need to know is it's a one break, but you've got to do it literally as soon as he tackles you. So, bog standard rule of thumb, if Paul gets you an ultimate tackle, mash one like mad because he's trying to set this up. And look how much damage this does. It's 50. I appreciate it flash quickly. So yeah, if Paul gets you in a tackle, mash one like a lunatic. Okay, we now have the Heat Blast. Okay, I can see what you're trying to do, but yeah, Power Crush beats Heat Burst, so that wasn't going to work. Okay, cancelled it then. Yep, so again, he muffed it up that time, but that's a one break. Okay, you got schmixed. Scary stuff. So there is another match to go, but we've got to be thinking to ourselves, he's done the Power Crush so many times on the opener. What can I do to beat it? Okay, so into the second match now. Got to be thinking to ourselves, is he going to do that Power Crush again? Yes, he does. Okay, so now I've made the point, right? So he's done that Power Crush. It's safe and it's a high. So let's look at some options about what we can do to counter it. If we've got the hard read, well, here's one. We're about to start the round. If I mash this quick enough. Yep. Whoops. That's number one, right? Because it's slow, so you've got enough time to armor through that. And that's good because that's a hard counter to a lot of options that they might go for. So you're covering multiple possibilities. If, however, you have the hard read, he's going to do that Power Crush. Like I said, it's a high. Then we could basically do this. Try and find the wall. There we go. So we didn't get the wall combo, but we got them to the wall, right? So again, just got to be thinking, if he's spamming the same opening move over and over again, what can we do to beat it? So yeah. I thought I show you that that is the hard counter to that. Okay, let's return to the replay. Okay, you blocked your string. That's technically a punish. Okay, so that is sneaky because most pulls will just do the 2 single shredders because they're trying to launch you, which is, I believe it's at least minus 12. It might be more. That follow-up he did that counter hit launch you is technically a high, so you could have ducked that, but that is kind of sneaky. Right, now he does this string a lot later on. Again, final hit is a high, so you've got to get that in your mind. So it's quad circle back 3, 2, 1. Now he can mix you up with a mid, but even the mid is punishable if you block it. And to be honest, most pool players are trying to go for the high because, as you saw there, it gives them massive plus frames at the wall. So learn to get this animation in your head. That one, and just be ready to flash duck and launch him for it. Okay, pool time. You got so unlucky there. You did the right thing, but you got cocked by the stupidness of Tekken 8. So that's sad to see. But it was the right idea. And then unfortunately, grabs. Fight. Okay. Now I have watched this already, and I'm going to just say it. Basically, he's now throw spamming you, and I mentioned this on the other video. And I know it is a meme, but as a king player, you've got to be ready for throws because everyone loves to throw a king player. It's just the way of the world, unfortunately. So you've got to be ready. Now, if you can't do it on reaction and you just think spamming the same one, just for reference, this one is a 1 break. But Paul does have a full throw game, so it's hard. Nice. Throw you again. Okay, I like the attempt there. Spam 1. Nice. You see how many throws he's tried to get you with so far. Nice low parry. I'll show you messed the combo up, and he could have killed you for that. Okay, so is he going to do the high again? Fight. No, he did not. Okay, so nice read on the hop kick there. Unfortunately, and again, I know I've said this in the first round, but this is just another classic example. You've got to score the maximum damage you can, and you've got to try to get them to the wall. And forward 2-1 is just honestly, don't bother doing it as a combo ender. Now, to give you some ideas, and again, I don't expect you to be able to sort of learn all these, but you've got the floor blast, right? So you've got a lot of potential here for some options. So let me just go back to the start of the round. Hang on. Let me go back. Right, if I spam this button fast enough. Okay, yes. So here's one option. Okay, now he got around that, but you see, even though that's really not optimal, look at that half bar gone. Let's look at something a little bit sort of more optimal, shall we? Retry. It's hard to do this. Oops. So I've got to buffer it in. There we go. Or whatever, but you get the point. So massive amount of damage there that you can't. Unfortunately, you left on the table. Or even if you want to just go for something a bit more, a bit more simple. Retry. You can just do something like this. Oops, I saw these miss inputs are kind of tricky. There we go. Do this. Okay, but anyway, I know this looks like I've got like butterfingers, but there's something really sort of, if you try to take control of the dummy and you've got to input something straight away, it's actually really hard. And yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with these replays, but anyway. So you get my point, right? Like you've got to optimize that combo damage, but especially when it's a floor break, because you know, King's combos are almost designed for floor blasts and floor breaks. So let's go back to the replay. Yeah, just stop doing 4-2-1 as an ender. It's not good. Nice stick jab. That's quite a good... Okay. Probably could have got around then. But I understand because last time you tried to punish with like a 4-2-1, you got cocked. But let me just give you another example because we still haven't blown the floor up yet. Hang on, there we go. I want that. Okay. Oops. Retry. Mess up the input. And they're dead. You see? But you know, I'm just trying to show you when you've got the floor blast available, just how much of a difference that can make. But I understand why you're nervous because, yeah, spring kicks are, for some reasons, spring kicks in this game are very hard to punish properly. There's some really weird stuff that goes on with the last bit of the animation. There's that string again. See? So he's done it like 4 times now. So he's never going to mix up the mid. You've got to just sort of... You've got to learn to block that final hit. They're not technically a punish. Oops. And they're dead. Oh, if you don't get that random stuff. Yeah, there's something really weird that goes on with the inputs when you take over the dummy. So I promise this isn't me being an idiot any more than normal. Okay, right, we'll just go back to the replay. But you get my point again. You could have killed him for that. Okay, so unlucky there. But I hope I think you basically got knowledge checked a lot of the Paul stuff, and I hope I've made it pretty clear what stuff that Paul should not get away with, and also just to stress the point of why, although learning how to do the most optimal combo possible is not really what you should be doing necessarily in these ranks, but you've got to at least learn to get something because there's so many rounds there you could have won by just sort of finishing the combo properly.
Get ready for the next.
Okay, so we'll do a couple more. Now I haven't actually watched this, so I'm going in with this completely live. So Hwoarang again. What first moves do they like to go with? They like to do down 4-4, and they like to do the power crush down forward 4-3. I think it is. Let's see. Okay, no, it keeps it fairly safe. There's the power crush. Now, learning that power crush is very, very important because it is a decent move. It's mid. They can and they often use its panic button. But again, King having this unique stuff, right? So there we go. Come on. There we go. That's a punish. Legit punish there. So I have done a video on this and I'll share it for all these power crushes that are basically minus 10 or more on block. King can punish them with throws. So that's something just to look out for, especially in this Hwoarang matchup because they love to spam that. And basically it's one of those things where it's a mind game. As soon as you punish someone like that really hard for using that move, basically if they rely on it so much, they're now going to completely second guess oh no, you've shown them sort of, no, you do that to me, it's going to cost you, my friend. So yeah, don't let them get away with that. Right, let's go back to the replay. Okay. Right, wrong punish, but I don't know if you're trying to punish it or just trying to take your turn. But yeah, down forward 4. Yeah, that's minus 13 now in this game. So yeah, don't let them get away with it. Okay, flappy kicks. Okay, again, that's minus. There's the power crush again. So yeah, you're letting this, with all the best sort of respect in the world, this Hwoarang player is not a good Hwoarang player. He's using a lot of unsafe stuff, and the only reason he's using it is because you're not punishing him for it. So he's done down 4-4. He's done the sides, the rear facing back 3, which is not as minus as normal back 3, but still pretty minus. And he's doing that power crush again minus, and you let him get away with it. Okay, so this is an ongoing theme you have. Stop doing 4-2-1 as your combo ender. You're giving away damage, my friend. Just if you get an instant screw like that, just Shining Wizard. Just do this. Take the damage. 65 damage, that is. What is it normally? I don't know. What was your combo? You might even be able to... Oops. Hang on. Retry. Yeah, 40. So you're getting 40 damage when potentially you could be getting 65. And even if you manage to, if you really manage to flex. Oh, hang on. I was trying to. It's quite hard to do this. If you can get a blue spark, that's what I'm trying to say. You get even more, but it's very hard to take over your dummy and do blue sparks at the same time. Hang on. I won't be able to, because basically, in case you're not aware, as I've learned, when you take over the dummy, you have to put an input in to register you've taken control. So I'm trying to press forward, then you've got to do it again. So it's, yeah, anyway. Point is, blue sparks, I think, is something ridiculous on that. It's something like 70. But yeah, stop doing 4-2-1. If you take nothing else away, stop doing 4-2-1 as your combo ender when you instant screw. Okay, you are mashing then, right? Okay, so that string, that's a classic. That's a classic knowledge check from Hwoarang. I think it's is it 1133? I think so. It's 1133. It's high high low high, and the last two hits are natural. So if you get hit by the low, you'll get hit by the high. So you've got to duck the final two hits. And then again, you can kill him for it. So just to show you what I mean, let's go back a bit. When does he do it? See, punish. Big damage on the table there. Don't let them get away with it. It's a classic Hwoarang knowledge check. Okay, you were stepping there, so that's not your fault. Right, again, you let him get away with that. Let's check the frames this time. Yeah, see that? Minus 13, so you can get a back 1-2 for that. Okay, let's see if he goes for a different round opener. I'm not sure what he was trying there. Yeah, so he's checking you. There we go, so... Two knowledge checks that you failed. Sorry, I don't want to sound mean, but I'm just so you don't fail for next time. Punish him hard for that power crush. Did it again. See, he's gonna keep doing it until you punish him for it. Just so I've covered all options, just to show how bad it is. He's gonna do it again. When does he do it again? There we go. Just so I've covered all options. I'll show you can throw him out of it, but watch you can do this. That's a punish. That's 33. Or even if you're feeling really juicy, if I can do this with this replay system, you can do this. Oops. Into a guaranteed throw. Or guaranteed throw attempt. So yeah, do that. Don't let him get away with it. At minimum, do that. Even better, do this. Can't buffer it. There we go. Do this. That's a good chunk of damage. And then they'll second guess themselves. So, yeah. Can't stress that enough. Nice. Good pressure. Okay. I see you both both of you are terrified of the rage. Okay, he's checking you again. Nice low parry. What are you doing now? Okay, maybe that was a spaghetti moment in the heat of it, but yeah, he could have killed him. Nice, you ducked the high there. Good break, but I think he was mashing too, to be honest. Right, there we go. That you gotta punish that, my friend. Nice break though. Okay, so he's just string cheesing you now. Just as a general rule, if Hwoarang start string cheesing you and you honestly don't know what's going on, which is fair enough, a lot of us in that situation. If all else fails, Dick Jab is a good bet because a lot of his strings contain highs. So Dick Jab will crush it. You won't get hardly any damage, but you'll break the flow. So, you know, that's really kind of scrubby, but it's just if you're really struggling, don't know what to do. Go for a Dick Jab. So you did it there. The amount of times he's getting away with this, and I hope you just don't realise, you know, and I hope when you see this, you'll take away from it. And anyone else, if you're playing Hwoarang in these ranks, cannot let him get away with that power crush. It's too good if you don't punish him for it. And I say King has such this unique thing where he can punish really hard. And what's even better is, because it's got 2 hits to it, it's not even like some power crushes are quite fast, so to buffer a throw you sort of, you know, you've got to be really on point. That's 2 hits, so you've got plenty of time for your brain to think, oh, here comes the second hit, here comes my throw punish. And again. Okay, caught you again, and again. Nice. Does he know? Okay, so I'm guessing you were key binding and he mashed 1. Please stop the alley kicks. Nice throw. Good break from the other player though. Please stop. Nice. That was great. That was really smart. You had enough frames there. It's making me sad. Look, he's literally spamming it because he knows he's not going to get punished. Nice break. Counter hit throw. Look at that. You even got the chips in then. Okay, so I wasn't going to bring this up because it's not that important, but I noticed you did this before. If you land this back turn setup, you've got to learn to run in and do the people's elbow. Don't do down 3 because you're leaving damage on the table. So if you oops, do I want the right side? Yes, I do. Just do this. Oops. You can even do that and start the whole process again. Bit of a vortex. Do this. That's the I like to call it. That's the Kingsman setup. So you can either go for the people's elbow and get a free alley kick, or just do that into you know, and just start the vortex again. So that's really sort of fun. And if they guess wrong enough times, you could have won that round just based on that. So go back to the replay. Nice duck. Really good. Nice combo. Not the most optimal, but better than all your others. Nice. Okay, that was so stupid, but I love it. That was really well done. And I noticed he didn't rematch after that, so yeah. But so key takeaways from that one, and again, just for if you're facing Hwoarangs in these ranks, as a king player particularly, do not let them get away with that power crush string down forward 4-3, I think it is. It's so punishable by king, especially I've not even shown you, if you've got a floor blast stage and you punish it with a tombstone, you're talking 90 plus damage, so do not let them get away with it. Okay, I think we got time for one king mirror match.
Get ready for the next battle.
Okay, so we're going to do the final one for the king mirror, especially because this guy's in purple rank, so we've kind of got like a good area covered. I mean, the customer's already fire. I love it. Okay, nice. As in, when I say nice, that was nice on the on your opponent there, because yeah, and the amount of times I will use muscle armor as an opening move, and yeah, throwing is a hard counter. So okay, good punish from the other guy. Interesting. I see what he's going for. Oh no. Okay, so yeah, it's so many alley kicks. I'm gonna have to just call the series "Please Stop Alley Kicking." But yeah, so much, so many alley kicks in this. It's making me sad. Please stop. Please stop. Nice. Okay, do we do a? Yeah, excellent. We're doing the right finisher. That's good to see. Oh no. Nice counter hit. Ah, you could have killed him. Oh, almost. I see what you're trying to do there. Down 4. Good finishing. That nice. Gotta love high crush. Okay. This is the most sort of. Okay, wrong punish. However, I'm going to test. I'm 99% sure you can throw punish him for this, but let's find out. Right. No, not yet. Oh yeah, let's do it now. Yep, that's a punish, I believe. Let's try again. Retry. Oops. Hang on. Let me wait till you're a little bit closer before I take over. Right, return to replay. Pause play. Okay, let's go from here. Yep, that's a punish. So yeah, so if you're blocking King Snake Edge like Paul's, you can actually yeah, you can actually get a proper throw punish and heat. Yep. So that's really nice to know. So don't let them get away with it. You know, and just a cool one to bear in mind. Okay, let's crack on. Go to replay. Because again, you've blocked it. You've done the hard job. Oh, but I didn't block it there. Nice. Nice duck. Ah, float. Oh, okay. Okay, that's sad to see. Basically, you could have got a mini combo there, but what you've done instead is you've got no damage because it's a post heat burst bound, and you've given up all your heat. So don't do that. I'll just show you what I mean. So you could do something like this. $51. So like I said, there's a mini juggle. That's pretty good. But yeah, unfortunately, you just sort of threw it away. So I don't know if that was just a heat of the moment thing. No pun intended. But yeah, don't do that. Because so what did we score? 51. Let's see if we go back what your damage was. Return to replay. Yep, return to replay. Whereas instead you did 35. You see? It's just, and you got no heat now. Although nice way closing it out anyway, I guess. Okay, this is always fun. The King Mirror with the heat blast, with the floor blast. Who's gonna get it? Nice throw. Doesn't break the floor though, unfortunately. Okay, is he gonna mash 1 to get out of this? No, he's not. So just FYI, this is for anti-King tech as well. Mashing 1 is often the best way of getting out of that. Oh, nice. He got a counter hit. Okay. He's cashing out. He could have got more, but that's an easy ender, I guess. So I don't hate it. Floor Blast is still in play as well. I love it. It's very unconventional, but it worked. We still got the floor. Who's going to get it? I want to know. Nice punish. Wrong punish. Wow, you got You got steamrolled on it. And this floor's still here. Who's going to get the floor? Oh, I caught you ducking. Mind you, he didn't get much of a combo out of it, so that's good. Okay, right. I finally get to show this off. So, that power crush King just did, minus 12. What does that mean? Well, you know by now. Let's go back. Okay, hang on. It's so fast. Hang on. Go back. Whoops. Yep, that's right. We get this. Basic combo. Nothing fancy here. 84 from an unoptimized combo from a 12 frame punish. So yeah, I just can't stress this enough of just how cool it is to be able to punish certain power crushes with King with throws, and especially they become launchers and stuff like that. So yeah, just making the point. Okay, we'll go back to the replay. Oh, nice. Back turned. Oh, you could have got another one there, but never mind. Oh, are we gonna... Oh, what are you doing? I mean, you got it, but you could have killed him on that first one. Because you still had the floor blast. Which is a shame, because all those other ones, you were finishing your combo with Shining Wizard, but for some reason on that one you didn't. But yeah, if you'd just gone straight to the Shining Wizard, mind you, you won anyway. But okay, so that was really fun. Okay, so just a few summary points to take away. So as I mentioned, this is kind of like borderline blue ranks to purple ranks. So stuff to look out for. Number one, there are some kind of knowledge checks going on, especially with the pool stuff, which, as I said, King has some unique ways of punishing. The pool stuff with the Hwoarang stuff. So number two, and I'm going to make this kind of the most important one because it's the same with the first video. If you've been hit, you're going to be at minus. Stop mashing. Block. Wait for your opponent to do something stupid, which could be the start of the turnaround. Don't just mash for the sake of it, because it's just it's not a good idea. And then what else to mention? Oh yeah, so in these ranks, it seems that everyone's discovered that power crushes are quite a powerful thing, which they are. They're more powerful in Tekken 8 than they were in Tekken 7. However, as I've demonstrated, King can really punish power crushes hard. So my suggestion would be, I'll put a link to it below. I've done a video where I demonstrate all of the power crushes for every single character where King can punish them with throws. So go and watch those, and then focus on the character that you see the most of in your rank. And, you know, if you have to do it in practice mode, whatever, but just get the animation in your head. Some of them, like Hwoarang's, you should never let them get away with it because it's 2 hits, so your brain's got so much time to process it. Whereas a King back 3, yeah, that is quite fast, so it's kind of hard, and it's one hit. But anyway, hope that's all helped. So the next series we'll do for this is we'll go into sort of the middle to high blues, so kind of we'll talk like Raijin, Kishin, that sort of thing. And then as a bonus round, we will do some Tekken King footage, and it may or may not contain footage from yours truly, so I'm not a hypocrite. I will coach myself just as well. So anyway, hope this helped you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.